The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Jesse, Habit-Based Lifestyle, and we are here with episode number 22 or 23. Caleb is so popular that he does not have time to come on the call today. So I'm going to be doing this solo. If you guys are watching this live, just hit hashtag live, and that way we can see who's tuning in. You can also interact. And I'm going to be actually pulling out the whiteboard today, and I want to really walk through some training for you guys and really drop into, why all the mindset gurus are still broke. And I'm going to break this down for you in really simple terms, because a lot of the things that come up in our program is, people I often hear, say mindset is everything. And I'm like, well, not really. It's really not. And then people, tend to say, well, yeah, it is. Prove me wrong. And it's very easy to begin to get into this and really dispel that is just something that people say, but it's not actually something that, I take as true or I take as kind of a real thing. And so I want to get into today's training and really show you why I don't believe that, and why by the end of this, that it may not mean that it may not be believable to you. Is it important? Yeah. Is it everything? No, I don't believe it is. And we're going to walk through this today, and I'm going to show you why I believe it's not. It's an important thing, but it's not everything. It may be what gurus will tell you, but a lot of these guys pitching mindset is everything, energy is everything. These guys are broke, or they have major stuff going on in their life. And it's not in alignment with, what they say. It's part of something, but it's not everything. And so as we get into this, I want to pull this up. I'm having a little technical difficulties with my computer. So once I get that up, all right, there we go. So we got this going now. So let's get started in this. One of the biggest things is, obviously you hear a lot of people, preaching about mindset and all of these things. But I want you to consider, is mindset is everything? Asking yourself this simple question: is it true? Is it true? Is it true from the people that watch this? Is it true from the people that teach this? But every coach or every guru wants you to actually believe this. But here's the thing that I've come to find out. I find out that mindset is only about 25% of the pie. That means that if we were looking at a pie, mindset would be 25% of that pie. That means that we have other things inside of this that are important. So let me just say, we got Sarah live. We got Krista. What's up, Krista? We got Steve. All of you guys are live. Thank you for being on here. But I want you to think about mindset being just one of 4 areas. So we have body, we have heart, and we have faith. So now the idea that mindset is everything is just gone. Mindset makes up a quarter of a whole area or a whole thing. And so we have our frame of mind that gives us the ability to see what is externally in front of me. So think about this, my thoughts, the stories I tell myself, and my kind of reactive belief system, or, we could just say my external belief. All of these things are externally driven. And so if you really think about half of this, whether it be my body or my mind, this is externally driven, which makes up half of a whole. And so, all of these things become kind of the outer shell of who we are. And so think about this is like, we have an internal part of us that we haven't even really addressed, which is the deep rooted things in our lives that we may believe. And these go back, many years. But like really mindset is about, hey, can I see the stories? Can I see the thoughts? Where are my beliefs coming from? Whether it be positive or negative, does having a positive mindset, does that help us more than having a negative mindset? Well, of course it does. Does having, an external shape of our body, being externally fit, does that help us more than not being externally fit? Of course it does. It's just not everything. It's like saying, well, hey, being fit is everything. Hey. All right, hold on one sec. Okay, so I got a little dog issue chewing on a box. So we're tearing everything up around here. So as we go through this, mindset might be the thing that kind of gets us started. Anytime we want to make changes, the quickest way to make changes is through our mindset, right? It's the thing that we can immediately start to change. And so I would say that the external change that we make, external equals changes. And I think once we kind of go through this, you'll understand what that means more. But when we change externally, we can have some immediate change really quick. And in doing that, there's a few things that you could say is like, hey, my mindset may be the thing that gets us started or changes us, but there's a lot of evidence behind that you can still have the right mindset and not get what you want. You can have, the in shape body and still not, have what you want in life. And so, I want to break this down in very simple terms. So let's just consider, this side is your mind and your body. And let's say that the body is the heart or Heartset. So let's say that heart is more internal. Okay. And let's just say the internal represents transformation. So if external represents changes, internal represents transformation. Heart becomes more passion and purpose. Okay. Again, it's not the only thing. It's one of 4 things. But if our mind is not in alignment with our purpose, many times we'll resist moving forward. And so a lot of times I'll say is like, listen, it starts in our mind, or it may start, it starts there a lot of times first. And then we start following through in our body, and it kind of takes over our passion or our purpose. Like you can feel things in people. The way that we begin to feel things is we have to start dropping into our body. Because if we don't, then we're not going to move. And I think a lot of times, if you think about commitments, a lot of times we make commitments in our mind, but the follow through or the lack of follow through is in our body. And that's where we can get frustrated, or the lack of follow through could be in our heart. But again, you may only be 50% of it there. You got your mindset right. You got your heart set right. We still have to get everything in alignment. And so, there's other things that we represent, which would be, our skill set. Skill set is going to be more related to body. Like, what are our skills as a business owner? What is my mindset as a business owner? What is my heart set as a business owner? I can still have all of those three pieces dialed in and still not be getting ultimately what I want. And so, you could have three of the four pieces and still not have it. And so, are my skills crucial to creating long-lasting results? Of course they are, but skills will only make up 25% of this. And my skill set goes into my body, which is a lot of times like, what are the tools that I have, or the skills that I have, or the things that I know that I can, teach, that I can show people to help them change. And so, even for me as a trainer for 20 plus years, I would see people start out with the right mindset. I would be able to teach people the skill set of being able to follow a diet, being able to exercise, but they would still not get the results they want because they weren't thinking about the heart set, which is like, hey, what is my purpose and what is my passion? And this is why, I got out of primarily coaching people in fitness and nutrition, was because I was only really looking at 50% of the puzzle and expecting it to transform someone's life. And although, I would get amazing results with people, a lot of times they would go back. They wouldn't kind of go through that full transformation phase. And that's really why I wanted to step more into lifestyle coaching, because the people who are successful were the people who really stepped into kind of the heart set and the faith set, because they had passion for what they wanted. They had a purpose for what they wanted. They had learned the skill set, and then they had the right mindset, and then it would be into, faith set. Faith set is really our trust, our intuition, kind of our internal guide. And I really believe that if we begin to have the right heart set, the right passion, the right purpose, and we combine that with mindset and our skill set, that when it comes to faith and that faith piece, that we have more of an internal guide. And so, faith is obviously the substance of things hoped for, but not seen. But I really believe this is more of a trust and intuition. And I will say an internal guide. So having this internal guide, this begins to guide our life. And even though we can't see the results ahead of us, it doesn't matter, because I have the faith of knowing where I'm going. I have the trust of knowing where I'm going. And I have the intuition that this is taking me to where I want to go, which is going to be super important for this. So if you guys are watching this, like, hey, what are you learning about mindset? What are you learning about skill set, which is your body? What are you learning about heart set and then faith set? Because you can have these individual pieces, but they go together in a collective order if you really want to transform. If you want to change some things in your life, sure, we can work on mindset, we can work on skill set, but like in order to transform, you're going to have to add this internal component, which is your heart set and your faith set inside of this, because 100% of this is all of these added together. And to have 75%, sure, we can have some transformation. To have 50%, sure, we can have some changes. To have 25% of each individual one, we can definitely begin to transform or begin to change. But in order for this to stick and really unlock the results, that we want to have impact, to have freedom, to have massive growth in business, to have massive growth in our life, whether it be our, marriages or relationships or even in our physical body, and to have it stick, we got to have these in alignment. Now, do they have to be perfect? No. Do they have to be 100% in alignment? I don't really believe they do, but I do believe that they're all very important components when it comes to fully having like this transformation. Like our body needs our mind needs our heart can't excel until we build faith. And that's really why I believe this is so important. And you could probably look at, hey, I'm very good at mindset. Like I can immediately shift my mindset. And so once you've kind of maxed out, 100% of the mindset, you have to begin to go into, okay, now what skill set do I actually need, or do I actually want to work on to combine with my mindset? Once I start having that skill set, now I have a greater purpose in my life. I have passion and fuel for what I'm doing. And then I mix that in with some faith. Man, now I have complete trust, and I have this internal guide that's taking me ultimately to where I want to go, which ultimately is where transformation begins. And I always say a lot of times, hey, look, if you're looking for change when you come in, most people look for change, but they stay for transformation. And they're like, I don't even know what happened. I just, know that my mindset changed. Maybe my energy changed. My body began to shift. I started learning some new skills and sharpening that. And then all of a sudden, my heart started to have more passion and have more purpose. And then I started to be more faithful, or have this faith set to where I was faithful in trusting where I was going. And that's where we really begin to, create transformation. And so if you guys are watching this, I mean, I'd love to see how your transformation has been, taking place. If you see maybe some areas that, hey, I've been focused so much on the external, my mindset and my body, I forgot about the heart and I forgot about the faith piece, because those are both the internal compasses that we have. You can have all your mindset figured out. You can have all your skill set and your body figured out. But if you don't have the heart set and the faith set, you're only 50% of the way there. And so this is something that I've kind of created over the years, because I was heavily body, probably more than anything else. And we have a tendency, the more we lack internal, the more we'll try to focus external, or the more we focus internal, we'll forget about external and we'll rely on one or the other. But when we can really combine both of these into one whole piece, that's ultimately when I really begin to transform. And that's really what I want to, display to you guys today is this. Like, this is the ultimate tool for transformation. This is a guide for you to really look at, hey, having a positive mindset, it's amazing. It's a tool, and it's a huge, powerful tool, because it's going to make up a quarter of this, but I also have to have the right heart set. I got to have the right passion. I got to have it pointed in the right direction. So I always think of like the heart and the faith are kind of the compass. The mindset and the skill set are really the accelerator for where we're going. But really having these work together, we can get to where we want to go a lot faster. So let me see if we have any comments for you guys. Like, what are you hearing? Patrick, dude, you're on this. I know you've had some massive transformation, on both sides of this. When I first met you, you were really like focused on your body, changing that. You're really focused on your mindset. You're such a positive dude. And then to watch you begin to transform from the inside out, it's been super cool to see that. So if you're still watching this, man, I can totally see how this has helped you. Krista, who's another client in our program, she's just in the last 60 days, I've kind of watched her go through this paradigm, which, I will say, like, I don't want to take credit for anybody going through this. But I will say that like, this is kind of a natural progression of what happens to people who kind of go all in into our program as they begin. I don't even know if they know it, but they begin to transform from the inside out. But it does start with having the right mindset, being willing to learn and develop a new skill set so that we can put some passion and purpose behind it. So that can drive our internal compass, our internal guide. And those are really the important things to us. So, take the credit. I was blocking my own energy and didn't know how to change it. So, yeah, Heartset is where it's at. Sure. If, it's like saying mindset is where it's at. It's like saying skill set. Sure. It could be, if you're missing that piece of it, but it's not all of it. So just understand that like, hey, mindset is not everything. Skill set is not everything. Heart set is not everything. Faith set is not everything. But when they're all together, then it's everything. And that's the key piece I want you to see inside of this. You may have 3 pieces figured out, and heart set is that last piece. So to you, it is everything. For me, heart set, mindset, and skill set were things that I could usually rely on, but maybe at other times, faith set wasn't that component in that. And once I added that, man, it was like things began to change exponentially. And so for all of us, we could have different areas where we're like, oh, it's definitely face sets everything, or it's definitely skill sets everything. It's really where we feel like we might be lacking. And that's where we put emphasis on everything. And so that's, I think the biggest thing is like, hey, you decide where you need to work on, and then you work on it. And I think these are things that we got to constantly work on. We got to constantly sharpen the saw, or like iron sharpens iron, right? If mindset, I sharpen mindset, I'm sharpening heart set, I'm sharpening face set, I'm sharpening skill set. All of these things are collective and a whole. These all make me everything. And that's really where I want to get to. Stress and pressure shifted. All right, I'm going to read Krista. So take the credit. I was blocking my own energy and didn't know how to change it. I didn't even realize I needed someone like you to show me where I was blocked. My heart was not in the right spot. So here's the thing that I want you to recognize is like, when you came in, your mindset was kind of defeated. You'd lost passion, you'd lost purpose. And if you lost those things, your faith, your face set was like non-existent. But you had the skill set. You've had the mindset before as an athlete. A lot of it was just kind of unlocking everything that was like happened around it, to where we could kind of uncover those things. I always think about like peeling back the layer of the onion. So it's not really that I showed you. It's that I reflected back to you who you already were on the inside. You just brought it back out. It's kind of like cracking open, the nut. It's like, okay, well, we reflect things back in each other. And I can remember having a conversation with you even that was like, hey, you're an ex-athlete. You have this in you. It's just about bringing it out. And, I really believe that, when I work with people, I can get them to do things that they never thought was possible, not because of what I do, but because of what I can reflect back to you or to them, inside of this, whole piece. And I don't even really talk about this a lot inside of habit-based lifestyle with a lot of the clients, but deep down secretly, these are the things that I know that I'm working on with each person, and I'm going to work back with them and really help them see where they need to work. And I also know this, there's some people that'll be in my program that will be all body, all skill set, maybe even a little mindset. They'll be missing out on the heart and the faith. And eventually they'll leave our program. They'll leave my program because they'll think that I don't offer them anything beyond that. And I will continue to hammer home that, hey, it's not just about, having a powerful body. It's not just about having the right mindset. Those are things that are going to help. But you can't out train, a bad heart or a heart in the wrong place, you can't out train your faith no matter how good a shape you got in. I've already tried it. Like I tried it for a long time. And I know that, you can run 100 miles, you can do bodybuilding shows, you can train with Navy SEALs, you can do all those things, and you can still have your heart and you can still have your faith not in the right place and still not get what you want and still not be fulfilled. Cause I've done all of them. And so I can see through that. But I think it's all part of our life and all part of where we're going. And we kind of have to figure this out on our own a lot of times. So guys, I want to thank you for being on here. I got to, enjoy just teaching you that, like, hey, mindset is not everything, but there is other things. And so looking at those other things are giving you the opportunity to see a bigger picture and see how you can begin to show up in different ways. And not only that, but actually add to your mindset, add to your skill set with Heartset and your face set. Because once you get those internal pieces going, this is a huge accelerator in your life. So thank you for being on here, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse